Good morning, my name is Lizzie and welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about the books that we read in March. Now, before we start, I kind of strayed off my TBR, which we knew was going to probably happen, but yeah. With that said, let's get on with the books. The first book we read was Nora Roberts' Northern Lights. Now, this is a kind of a reread for me. Yes, Wolfie said that he was gonna get in the video, at least his tail is. Now, anyway, it was a reread for me. And it takes place in Alaska. And we are following Nate, who just quit the Baltimore, Maryland police. And he is coming to Lunacy, Alaska to be the chief. And it comes with a lot of backlash because he is an outsider and they're like, oh my gosh, we don't want an outsider taking care of us. But it also comes with murder. So Nate is kind of haunted by his past. He witnessed his partner get shot down, and it kind of affects, in my opinion, affects how he approaches his job here. He's more protective, he's more cautious. So when a group of boys go up to the mountain and they are injured, they find an Iceman. And this Iceman looks like he passed away yesterday. So they bring proof when they come down from the mountain, etc., and show the chief of the police, Nate. So, and from there we find out that this was a local and happens to be the pilot's father. And then the other murders start happening. I guess it's more like, oh my gosh, the body has been found. Oh my gosh, who did it? And the secrets start coming out. So, and then one thing I hate about this, it does have one little, you don't get to see much of it, thank goodness, because I would have thrown the book away. And I hate to say that. I don't like it when you put death of a pet or murder of a pet in a book. I hate that. And I hate that. That is my pet peeve. Anyway. So, we follow all of this, and Meg is, the pilot, is starting to fall for the chief of police, etc., and so on. It's very good. I think it's, like I said, this is like my third reread of this. Now, yeah. The next book we read is Watermelon by Samantha Soto Yamboa. I'm probably saying that wrong. Now, this book is kind of like a fantasy, and I don't want to use whimsical at all, but it's along those lines, and where this is where you can, a pawn shop where you can sell your regrets. And the main character, so Hana has woken up to find the pawn shop ransacked and her father missing. So this is basically an adventure that happens where she goes into the spirit world, and this is two different worlds. So you have the spirit world and Tokyo, regular Tokyo. And she goes deeper into the spirit world to find her father, who is looking for something or someone. And as she is going through this, she has choices. And choices, She can come to the human world. She can stay in her world. She can marry the person that she's supposed to, etc. and so on. But this is her choice. For once, she wants to take care of her and not the other way around, because that's what she's been doing all her life, and that's what the pawn shop is all about. Selling your regrets and making choices. So, and this is what I've seen reviews on this, and some people have liked it, some people have not, but I enjoyed this for the most part. And of course, I love the cover. The cover, you can make the cover into a boat. And hold on, I'll show you what I mean. So you have the boy and the girl, and you kind of, it's origami, you can fold it up and turn it into a boat, etc. and so on. I'm not going to do that. But if I had another copy, maybe, but I'm not going to do that. And there's that. So, I was in the mood for something historical, so I picked up the Bolivar Lighthouse at the store while on vacation. Now, I have learned a lot. I have learned that my father's stories growing up are true. And I learned that things I did not know, like the barracks of Fort Travis was at one point a hotel. I had no idea. The other thing is Sweet Charlie was filmed in Port Bolivar. And I had that just blew my mind. Any purchase of this book automatically goes to refunding the local lighthouse, and I highly suggest it. So, Callie Hart, Quicksilver. Now, with this book, I was very intimidated. I originally had no intention on reading it. It was not on my radar. My coworker told me that I need to pick it up. My bestie told me I need to pick it up. And my husband bought the book and told me I need to pick it up. I think it's being made into a movie. But anyway, I was intimidated. I listened to the audiobook along with reading it. It is on Kindle Unlimited. Too, if you want to pick it up. It is a tad bit spicy. And a little bit too spicy for my taste in general. I have learned that I do not care for spicy. So we are following Sirius Fane. We are in a dystopian world where water is a luxury. You cannot find it unless you are upper class. You basically have to drink, I'm going to come out and say it, wastewater. That's how bad it is. And Miss Fane decides to steal a guard's little, I'm going to call it a sword. So, and from there, she goes back to her home, and they don't want anything to do with this guard's sword thing. So she has to get rid of it. Not only that, it's kind of talking to her. If that makes any sense, the metal in the sword is talking to her. And her brother gets a hold of it, tries to sell it. And that leads to her getting arrested and brought before the queen. And then the queen orders her. And then that's basically where the story picks up. We find her in another realm. She is brought to the Winter Palace in this realm, and she is ordered to do some tasks because they are currently in a war. And they've been in a war for a while. We have vampires. We have, well, I'm going to call them vampires, but they're more like vampire zombies. That's the best way I can say it. And stuff. And she starts to having to wield swords or relics. And she finds that she can talk to this Quicksilver metal as she is making them. And she starts falling for King Fisher, who is the stepson of the king. And kind of a war general. Yeah. It's confusing. It's, interesting. The ending of it was really interesting. I'm halfway confused on that, but you'll have to read it to find out what I'm talking about. And with that, let's get on with the next book. Book by Crook by Eva Gates. Now, this is a Lighthouse mystery series, cozy mystery, and we are following Lucy, who had just taken a job here at the local lighthouse. Now, she has escaped, well, I say escaped. She had decided not to marry her fiance, Richard. And she takes a librarian job in her most famous place at the Bodie Lighthouse. Now, the Bodie Lighthouse is a real place. It just does not have the library actually in it, like in the story. Now, Lucy is guarding these priceless relics of Jane Austen, first edition books. And, oh my, they're playing. I know it sounds like he's hurt, but he's not. Anyway, these books are coming up missing, and Lucy is finding herself maybe without a job because they are accusing her of bringing all these problems from where she used to work. And not only that, they're looking at her as a suspect. So we're trying to find out what is going on. And this is Charles on the cover. I love Charles. And he actually saves Lucy more than countless times. And then we read Book for Trouble. So Lucy's mom is in town and she's trying to bring her back home, or so we think. She is, basically become wrapped up as a murder suspect when her used to be friend turns up. Yeah. And they're looking at her because there was a big fight in front of a lot of witnesses. And with that, I will see you in the next one. And bye.